Hello everyone, welcome back to Beaglington-On-Sea. Yes, hello everyone, welcome to September, and welcome back to Beaglington-On-Sea. And before we start with this sort of new upcoming series, continuation of Beaglington-On-Sea, there are a few things that we need to talk about. And number one is the MDF in the room. So a couple of months ago, I finally took the step, after support from some of my family, to go to the doctor to get diagnosed. Because for a long time now, and a long time, I've been suffering because I have anxiety, and also because I have depression. And it's not an easy thing to talk about, and it's not an easy thing to think about, but I have to say it because it explains what we're doing in the shit. So yeah, so I went to the doctors anyways, and that's a good thing. And I think it's really important to highlight the fact that I'm not here looking for sympathy, but I am looking for you to check in on your friends. So do that. Make sure they're all right. These are hard times. But as I say, it's very difficult to talk about. So basically, I went to the doctors anyways, and they gave me some pills. And that was pretty strange. I experienced a huge boost of enthusiasm, motivation, and that sort of explains this. I mean, like, basically, I had some money, and I said, right, what can I do railway-wise? And Alex at the desk had wanted to build further along the back of the room, and build Kiln Beach and Mickwick Harbour as part of that Project Old Wind section I had in the back of the room. And you know, I had this motivation, and I've been thinking about the winter and stuff. Basically, lots of things came up, and I said to my partner, I said, oh, you know, I'd like to build round the room, you know, at the back of the room. And I said, but I feel like there's never anyone going anywhere with Beaglington-On-Sea. You know, trains come in and they go off, they come and they go off, and they never really go anywhere. And basically, I had this money, and I said, right, I'll save the track from the layout, and I'll buy wood, and I'll build a brand new railway. Whole thing. So, what happened was, and I'll show you the pictures from it, I decided to demolish Beaglington-On-Sea, hence the reshaping of Beaglington's railways and the closure notice from the end of the birthday special. So I took everything off the railway, all the track, all the buildings, all the scenery. We had a skip at the time, so it was handy. I threw away the cliffs and everything, got rid of everything. So I had no railway, and then the usual thing happens, bills come in, needed money for stuff, and all that money I had for the wood at that moment was gone. So I had no railway, I had no money for building a new railway, and I obviously having depression and being medicated, it was a very difficult time. I was going through a lot of different changes. So we went on holiday, and while we were on holiday, I don't know if it was the medication, it certainly wasn't the heat because it wasn't warm, but every time we went to a building, I felt like the floors and the walls were shaking. It was very strange. So I spent a lot of time not in the shops in Tenby. But like, okay, I'm waffling now. The point is that this is Beaglington-On-Sea, or what's left of it. And behind me there's a piece of baseboard here. This is Project Albury. That's it. That's the back scene. Let's see. I can show you the back scene. That's the back scene. It's gone. It's all gone. Everything's gone. But not completely. So, as I said, I took up the track, which I'll cut to now. And I saved the buildings. And with those, I sort of planned out what I wanted to do. So I decided I was going to go around the room. I measured the room as best I could. It turns out it wasn't completely square. The room, that is, my measurements were pretty good. I measured out what wood I needed, and it was sort of, I was going to build it, but I tested out where my track was going to go on the floor. To get a rough idea. It turns out that after I'd taken all the track I had and added the track that went with it, all folded out into a straight line of Beaglington-On-Sea, that was it. I had one side of the room. Three sides but no track. Yeah. So the main focus in the run up to Christmas is to get Beaglington-On-Sea. That's one side of the road. Beaglington-On-Sea with track, ballast, platforms. That's my goal for Christmas. So the Christmas special is going to be getting to that point where I can run trains in and out of Beaglington-On-Sea, and hopefully I'll be able to do that before Christmas. The goal, that's my goal, is to get there before Christmas. And I'll go more into the next episode, because really this is just showing you what I've been up to. So we're going to look at the baseboards and stuff, and then the next episode things will probably get more complicated. But I felt like for years, because of the depression, I didn't deserve a bigger railway. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm a hard-working person, apparently. We moved into our house. The baseboard that I got from One Railway Baseboards Ireland, I bought with money we got back from a deposit before we moved into our house, and it was the perfect size for the room I had, and it has given me like 5 years of joy, right? But it moved into the other room after a year or so, because it turned out that the room we'd given the girls for their bedroom was always cold in the winter and freezing and damp, and it never heated up. So they went into the old railway room, and I was given the other room, which was then the playroom. But really, the railway took up too much space in the middle of that room. And I thought, this is annoying because I can't have a good run of the trains. Like they go in and out, they go in and out, it gets repetitive, and it's an object in the middle of the room. So you don't really have much play space in the room then, which is why I decided to come up with this idea of going around the edge of the room, because we have these IKEA Kallax units that store things in a chest of drawers for my rolling stock. So they're already taking up space that is then taken over by, like, over the top by the railway. So it's not intruding on any extra space in the room. And that means the kids have somewhere to play, you know, leave things set up, because obviously if they're always playing with stuff and leaving stuff set up, it's so much easier to have a room where you can leave it set up. And, you know, it's not in the way. So I thought we were kind of killing two birds with one stone, as well. We just do that. So that's partly why that happened. But yeah, for a long time, I kind of have felt, oh, you know, you don't have the money. It's there's other things that are more important than, you know, doing this. And that's partly why, like, I'd always, like, I normally buy everything secondhand because it's cheap, because I don't want to spend a lot of money on something monorail-wise, because I don't feel like I deserve to have expensive things like that. It's a very strange way to observe yourself after the fact. And I still won't, I don't buy really expensive things that often. I have one or two pre-orders that I have money for, and then I have to spend the money on bills, and then I have the money for it, and then I have to spend the money on bills. So it's a constant cycle of that. That's reality. But the never going forward in the hobby by going, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to build that big a railway, because do you know what? You know, you shouldn't have it. That's a strange way to feel. There's a difference between the want and the need, and actually having the ability to do it, not costing that much money really, but telling yourself, oh, you can't possibly have that because you don't deserve that. That's a strange place to be in your mind. So, and by the way, my tripod is broken, which is why I'm now, like, sideways. It's held together with masking tape and cocktail sticks. So I will get a new tripod, hopefully, for before Christmas. So yeah, it's been an unusual time, but like I said, check on your friends and make sure they're doing well, because winter is long and we don't really have summers here anymore. It's always raining all summer long. It's miserable. I think I got to the beach like less than 10 times over the summer. I'm saying happy September. I'm just at the end of August. We just had Storm Lillian. So that's the longest storm season on record. If you remember my Beyond Beaglington of collecting things after the storms, the last one I did was Kathleen, so we got to L this year, which means the longest storm season on record, and then it starts again on the 31st of August is the last day, so it's 1st September, we're back into new storm season. So it can be long and it can be dark, and, you know, I'm always busy. I don't have time for I can't force myself to stop and just sit there, like, yeah, so this is the new Beaglington. This is actually Beaglington Mark III, we shall call it, because this is the second edition of Beaglington. I have one before this as well, and in fact, the first Beaglington I built 8 years before I had this one. I demolished this one the same week 8 years after I demolished the first one, so I've got 8 years of the new one. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I just wanted to get this bump out of the way before the rest of the series, because, you know, it's a lot easier to go forward and not have to keep re-explaining yourself and your motivations. But it does mean that we're going to have a bigger railway. So we're going to have Beaglington-On-Sea as one side of the railway, and then I want to have a hill, I want to have a viaduct, I want to have the branch line, I want to go to an intermediate station with a caravan park nearby, like in Tenby. I want to have a harbour, that's going to be the end of the branch line. I want to have a harbour at the end of the arrives line. And 009. Now, a couple of years ago, I hinted at 009. I got a Pico 009 Christmas wagon. And it's only be simple, but I have one or two bits that I've had for a couple of years, and I really want to use them. So I'm hoping to weave that into it. But that's all to come. And so I hope I haven't cut things too badly into this episode. It's not really been planned. Yeah. So that's it for this episode of Beaglington-On-Sea. No, I can't even reach up and set the camping chair. Yeah. Am I central now? That's it for this episode of Beaglington-On-Sea. You've been a wonderful audience, and I hope I've been a wonderful Alex, as much as I can be in the circumstances. Thank you to everyone who subscribes, everyone who watches, everyone who comments and likes. And I know I don't always get back to the comments in time because I'm always so busy. Summer's a very busy time in hospitality, but it'll be a bit calmer hopefully as we go into the fall and the winter. It'll be a bit calmer. I'll have more time to be answering messages, comments and stuff. I've got stuff lined up. I've got a Christmas special I'm working on for Beyond Beaglington, which is probably going to go completely wrong. I've got An Coirean. I've got plans for finishing that off over the autumn because I haven't had time in the summer. I've got the Christmas special I'm working on. There's no Halloween special this year because there's no railway. Okay, so I'm sorry about that, but on the other hand, I'm not that sorry because it's a lot of effort. I will make some nice decorations put up for the Christmas special though. Alex at the desk has some episodes coming out of stuff he's been up to at the desk, which should be good. So yeah, but I hope you're all keeping well, and make sure you do keep well. And if you do feel a bit down, just go to the doctors for a checkup and say I'm feeling down, and see what they say, because I left it for too long and it's a long time to live with it. So yeah, just, you know, take care of yourselves. And I suppose that's where I'll leave this episode. Next episode is going to be more fun because I'll actually do something else, like track related. I might even have footage of a train running, who knows. But that's it. That's the end of this episode of the new Beaglington, and I seem to be disappearing the longer it goes on. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget there's the subscribe bubble and the playlist thing. I put those up there because I'm all the way down here now at the bottom of the screen. Yeah. I wonder what haul you're going to bring out for Christmas. That's the thing to look forward to, if they're still in business. But for now, I'm off. So I'm going to go put myself back, you know, up the right way. Ta-ra. Shit, I've just fallen through the camping chair. I can't get up. Hang on, have a look. Bollocks. I've fallen through the camping chair. Ow! I couldn't get up. Never mind. Right. On to the next episode.